The June 23rd, 2025 meeting of the Human Services Committee. Oh, what's it not on?
Bang the gavel.
The June 23rd, 2025 meeting of the Human Services Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Blankley.
Here.
Mr. Blankley is present. Ms. Bonnick.
Here.
Ms. Bonnick is present. Mr. Brew. Mr. Brew is present. Mr. Cruz.
Presente.
Mr. Cruz is present. Mr. Dondorfer. Mr. Dondorfer is present. Chairwoman Hasman.
Here.
Chairwoman Hasman is present. Mr. Milne.
Here.
Mr. Milne is present. Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith is present. Ms. Vasquez Simmons.
Here.
Ms. Vasquez Simmons is present.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
No, there's not.
Is there anyone present who is not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the May 20th, 2025 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Madam Clerk?
Referral 25-0204, amend resolution 221 of 2022 to accept additional funding from the New York State Department of Health and extend the time period for the rabies reimbursement program.
Move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Vasquez Simmons, seconded by Legislator Cruz. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 25-0205, amend resolution 382 of 2018 as amended by resolutions 83 of 2024 and 148 of 2024 to accept additional funding from the New York State Department of Health and extend the time period for the STD testing in Safety Net Populations Program and amend resolution 412 of 2020 as amended by resolutions 421 of 2021, 369 of 2022, 368 of 2023, 83 of 2024, and 148 of 2024 to amend and increase the contract with Rochester Regional Health through its Rochester General Hospital permitted laboratories to provide clinical laboratory services for the Monroe County Department of Public Health.
Move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Vasquez Simmons, seconded by Legislator Cruz. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a
Yes,
couple of
Legislator
questions
Bonner.
for the admin. So, through you, Madam Chair, to administration, I have a few questions here that I would like you to answer. First question, what criteria are used to identify and define high-risk populations?
The populations that show up at our sites are pretty much by definition high risk. We test people who show up.
Okay, thank you. Here's a follow-up question. How many individuals have been screened so far through this program, and what outcomes or trends have been observed?
Through the chair, that's data that I can come up with. I don't have it at the tip of my tongue.
Okay, we'd appreciate that. If you could send that to us. And follow-up question there, is there a plan to include education or prevention components alongside the testing?
Through the chair, I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Is there a plan to include education or prevention components alongside testing?
Through the chair, yes, that's part of our program. When people show up for testing, we provide education.
Okay, and one final question, Madam Chair. Are walking services available or is testing by appointment only?
Through the chair, most of our testing is walk-in.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 25-0206, acceptance of a grant from the Housing Trust Fund Corporation, a subsidiary of the New York State Housing Finance Agency for the Leading in Lead Prevention Pilot Program.
Move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Vasquez Simmons, seconded by Legislator Cruz. Is there any discussion? Yes, Legislator Milne.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Through the chair to the administration. Is there any type of average cost or estimated total cost of lead abatement for a multifamily rental unit or even a single family unit? And I understand that certainly by the size of the house, number of rooms, et cetera, but is there any kind of number that you could offer of what it normally costs?
Through the chair, No. Essentially what happens is for these particular grant, it's up to $40,000 per unit that is offered. We try to do as much abatement work, which means permanent removal of that. And the serious things, your windows, biteable surfaces, things like that. But like a window or a wall in a stairwell may not be something that needs to be permanently removed, whereas you could spend a lot of money on that, replacing that, but it's not a good use of the funding. So we will work based off of what needs to be done to make sure that the high risk areas are addressed in a more permanent way, and that some of the other areas can be at a lesser cost, even if they're there and they're deteriorated, they still need to be fixed, but maybe a paint job would be okay.
And that's a great response. Thank you. I would ask a follow-up still through the chair to the administration. Again, probably another loaded question, but do we feel that generally the work that we're able to do per unit is pretty adequate? Or do we need, and understanding what you're saying through the hallways, et cetera, but are we getting the vast majority of it as best you can tell?
Through the chair, we have not, so this is round 2 of the Leading in Lead grant program. We actually haven't started with our first unit of Unit 1 yet. We have another whole year to finish that. So we haven't actually started that process with one assigned unit. We have done HUD grants in the past where $40,000 will cover a significant portion of that type of thing, replacing all the windows, that type of thing. However, costs have gone up, that type of thing. So there may be some additional owner contributions that will be necessary. There may not, but that's what I can help with.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Legislator Brew?
Yes, to the chair, to the administration. Do you have an idea of what the overhead cost would be? A portion of this is said to fund the salaries and benefits of existing staff as well as other costs to run the program.
Through the chair, up to 15% of that $40,000 can be used towards administrative costs, which would cover what you're talking about. We do try to reduce and put as much towards the housing units as possible, but it is allowed through the grantor to go up to 15%.
Thank you. And through the chair, another question, if you may, to the administration. Do the apartment occupants, are they required to vacate the premises during the remediation process?
Through the chair, there is no requirement. That will also be on a case-by-case basis. Some areas, they may stay at a family, they may need to go to a hotel, and hotel costs would also be covered as an administrative type of fee if they needed to go to a place like a hotel. Sometimes they're doing work in an area where they can seal off, and so they can still live in a portion of the home when work is being done. Obviously, we want to make sure that people are safe while work is being done. Everybody who's doing any work will be certified through abatement and all of those types of things. But if we do need to relocate them, we will.
Yes, thank you. And one more follow-up question to that, if I may, to the chair of the administration. So do they do air testing of parts per million of any lead in the air? How do they actually determine that their work is complete and the lead levels are actually where they need to be on the surfaces?
So through the chair, each unit would go through a clearance process. So lead is heavy. It's like a dust that settles, so it doesn't stay in the air for more than an hour. So there's proper cleaning procedures, and our clearance to go in and take dust samples have to happen at least 1 hour after work is completed. And then we wouldn't allow people back into that area until we get passing results for that. And those are on floors, window sills, and window wells.
Thank you. Your answers are very informative.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Yes, Legislator Blankley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A question through you to the administration. Has the Housing Trust Fund Corporation indicated any risks to this funding? I noticed a provision in the agreement that we reserve the right to change or modify it as needed. Is that a result of any expected changes in federal funding? Have they identified any of those for us?
Through the chair, we have not heard of any identified issues with this particular grant.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Yes, Legislator Cruz.
Through the chair to the administration, is there any sort of rent cap
for landlords who may be utilizing this program and receiving the $40,000?
A grant, sorry, through the chair,
Would there be any, or would there be any sort of rent cap associated with landlords that may receive this funding to fix up their properties?
through the chair, I do not know that answer. I'd have to follow up.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Great. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 25-0207, acceptance of a grant from the New York State Department of Health for the Drinking Water Enhancement Program.
Move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by legislator Vasquez Simmons, seconded by legislator Cruz. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 25-0208, amend the schedule of job titles by salary group for the Department of Public Health as described and contained in the 2025 Monroe County budget. Authorize the position of Deputy Medical Examiner, amend and increase the contract for the provision of forensic pathology services, amend the operating budget of the Department of Public Health.
Move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by, do we have a move over here? Oh, okay. Moved by legislator Vasquez Simmons, seconded by legislator Cruz. Oh, seconded by legislator Brew as well. Any discussion? Yes, legislator Smith.
Thank you. Through the chair to the administration, do you have a candidate in mind to be deputy medical examiner, or will there be a search?
Good afternoon through the chair. We do not necessarily have a candidate in mind, although likely for the deputy position, one of our incumbent associate medical examiners will take that role.
Thank you. And through the chair to the administration, could you give us a brief summary of what the day-to-day activities would be for the deputy medical examiner?
Certainly. So at a base through the chair, all the medical examiners, the medical examiner, the deputy, and the associates perform essentially the same job duties on base, which is performance of autopsies, determination as to cause and manner of death. Beyond that, the medical examiner is the division head, so has the administrative duties that go along with that, while the deputy medical examiner is essentially going to be a deputy to the medical examiner to handle those in her absence.
Great. Thank you. I yield the floor.
Any other questions? Further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 25-0217, acceptance of a gift from the United Way of Greater Rochester, Inc. from Monroe County's Child Poverty Reduction Initiative, Project Prosper.
Move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by legislator Vasquez Simmons, seconded by legislator Cruz. Is there any discussion? I have a question. It's my understanding, and you can correct me, that folks who receive payments of this will not go towards income, that will be accounted for assistance. Is that correct? For SNAP, HEAP?
Good afternoon. Denise Reed from Monroe County DHS. I heard just the tail end of the question, so can you repeat it?
Sure. Am I correct in my reading of this that whoever receives funding from this program, that will not be counted as income for assistance for things like LEAP and SNAP?
That is correct.
Thank
That's
you.
the purpose of having the private funding.
Great, thank you. And my next question is, how many people are expected to receive direct payments through Project Prosper?
Right. I can't see who's talking. Is it the chair or something? Okay. Madam Chair, so Project Prosper incorporates 3 separate programs. Each of them have a target audience. So in a population that we're targeting, and then a number of people that we'd like to target within each of those. So the first, I'll just go program by program. So the first one, rental subsidy, has the smallest population, must be 10 of household, must live in one of the designated zip codes, must have income at or below 100% FPL. And we intend to serve about 100 people in that program. The next program is our direct cash assistance program for pregnant women. Again, must have a child under 18, and in this case, be pregnant, must live in one of the designated zip codes, must have income at or below 100% federal poverty level. We anticipate serving about 200 pregnant women in that program. And then lastly, our upward mobility mentoring program. Same criteria, must live in one of the designated zip codes, must have income at or below 100% FPL. And we hope to serve 700 families in that program, but do hope to serve up to 1,000. So whatever that equals for those three programs is the total amount of people we hope to serve with the funding.
Great, thank you. About 1,000, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,300, my rudimentary math works. Yes, Legislator Jessica Simmons.
Yes. Through you to the administration, how do you plan on administering this program? Will it be administered internally or will be working with partners, community partners?
So we have several RFPs that have already been issued for this funding. The rental subsidy program has not had an RFP. That's something that we're still working with. But for the other programs, they are in actually various stages of RFPing. And so right now, we actually I don't believe I'm in a position to say the agencies yet. Right, because we're still in contract negotiations. But we will have vendors that operate each program, and we also will have an administrative entity that will support the department in the administration so that we can ensure continuity across the programs. Through the chair.
Thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no other matters, the June 23rd, 2025 meeting of the Human Services Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Human Services Committee will be held on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025 at 5 p.m.